Alright, hello gamers. I don't have a good pun for writers yet, so hello to you two. How you doing? Alright, I'm gonna peek in to my thing here, turn on the volume for a bit. Alright, Okay, good, I can hear myself. Sorry for the echo for a moment. Alright, so, I don't have my players with me today. To kind of pad my viewing numbers. So this is going to be entirely based on myself. Woo. So let's go. Um, let's go here to make sure that this is established. Awesome. Okay, this works. So I need to turn this off here. Go back to the chilling room. Put the web page up. Go to this one and let's see. Okay, just gotta change this view here. So I had tried switching over to Streamlabs, and it completely messed up the way my character moves. Like his hand was just kept slapping his hand for some reason, and only when I was using Streamlabs. So it's entirely on that. On the Streamlabs fault there. All right, so uh, the goal for today is to write a fanfic, just have fun with it, and um, see what we get out of it. Maybe hang out if people decide to join, but again, this is entirely for practice. Now, there's a motivation to writing, right? Like especially with fan fictions, because you saw something that didn't quite hit the notes that you felt were important, and so you want to kind of uh, fit into those notes. So um, let's see. For example, I always felt that Ranma One Half should really speak more about gender identity and gender fluidity and things like that. And so I usually take those stories and I explore aspects of sexuality and of gender with the characters, because it's what I see as the thing that's missing in the conversation or in the aspects of that show. You take um, you take any kind of thing that any kind of a story that somebody else then picks up and writes, and they're filling in gaps about it. So that's kind of like my perception of fan fiction. And there's a lot of media that we have now as fan fiction, because the original stories were written a long time ago, and we just have other people writing. Like you look at Batman or Superman now, and it's not any of that. I ended up already eating, so for secret mukbang, it's just gonna be drinking. Have to do this without my wife knowing. Hashtag secret mukbang. I'm saying this while she's in the room with me, so
What?
it's kind of funny.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, okay. I'm lucky she couldn't hear anything. We're getting away with it, fellas. We're getting away with it. Ah, okay, that actually messed something up. Weird. All right. Um, so with that in mind, the question is, what do we feel like writing about? And I saw this anime on Crunchyroll a while ago called Citrus, and there's people's opinion on this show all over the place, and but the main thing about it is it's this one girl who's like total gyaru. I can't do quotes on this kind of. Anyways, a total gyaru. Which man, that's like a really awkward translation for uh, it's English slang word gal used to define a fashion subculture, and it's if you just look at it as in these photos, you're not quite getting a full aspect. I think this might be closer to what they're talking about. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, just making sure that's going to show up on the screen. This is like closer to what they're talking about. Um, as far as imagery goes for it, where it's you know I I think in the United States the closest thing we'd have is like a beach bimbo kind of aspect to it, um, and so it but it has very uh, kind of like just very unique aesthetics that's kind of hard to translate, right? But there's aspects of promiscuity and and different things like that, and so it's not necessarily like the bombshell that the blonde bombshell concept that we have in the United States. So it's really really difficult, I feel, to translate this concept in any way, shape, or form without losing it. So um, I don't know how to do so. And there's subcultures within it about being like incredibly tanned and darker skinned. Um, so um, that aside, the blonde in this case is the Gyaru, and so she is the more fashionista dressed, hair dyed. In this case, makeup wearing, um, and for all intents and purposes, her outward appearance is that of somebody who has slept around. Although for her character, she has not. And the second character involved, that she ends up, um, well, okay, you can spoiler warning. We're just from the cover that she ends up falling for, is this very straight laced on the outside student that's all about following the rules in the academy and everything being proper and perfect and controlled. Who has a lot of psychological issues and is um, definitely much more um, promiscuous than the blonde is. So it's a lot of hidden. hidden aspect, right? So you have the one that everybody thinks sleeps around who doesn't, and the one who everybody thinks is straight laced, but is going around just kissing people willy nilly like it's nothing. Um, and you and so the storyline itself is can be a squick for some people, in that the um, in that they are not have their mom, the mom of the blonde marries the dad of the black haired girl, and so they become, um, what is it, stepsisters, but they fall in love with each other, and so that's kind of like the taboo. That's the taboo of the story, between them. So it's eh, like that. That's just how that is, right? So there's 12 episodes right now on Crunchyroll. I think the manga goes for quite a bit. Let me see, Citrus manga, and let's check out the fandom page here. Citrus manga written and illustrated by Saburo Uta, serialized by Comic Yuri Hime magazine. Um, blah, blah, blah. Extra chapters going on Citrus Plus, and da, da, da. So, um, let's see what we got here. Oh, hold on. Wifey wants to get in on the mukbang. Go ahead.
What?
I hashtag this secret mukbang, so let's go. Eat those pork rinds. Secret mukbang. Let's go. Mm. Oh, is this the pickle one?
Yeah,
Wow, so good.
you like the pickles?
I like the pickles. Can I get the pickles? And the pickles? I, I want the pickles. Oh, the pickles. Mm. Mm. Excuse me. So here we have 12 chapters, in the manga, but then it goes on 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 41. So it goes on for quite a bit. There's a bonus end here and a bonus epilogue. So, and these are averaging 180 pages in English, 161 in Japanese, 164, 180, 168. So, I would say that that means that, um, we're looking at the first season matching in with the first three kind of books, um, in the manga, and then we we stop watching the show and we start getting more and more story. Um, let's see, a little bit over three times more story. So, so the key. So let's say, I mostly focus on doing, crossovers and fusions. So, I had written down a long time ago when I first saw the series. I said, okay, Citrus Ranma. So, what was the concept for Citrus Ranma based on what we have of the season one of Citrus? The concept of Citrus Ranma was, let's write down the Citrus Ranma. the concept of Citrus Ranma was that we were going to have Ranma and let's see, Ranma goes on training journey, gets transformed into a girl, and loses her father. Goes back home to mom, who remarries, or not who marries Son. So Ranma meets is her new sisters Akane, Nabiki, and Kasumi. So um, all right. So here's a base concept based on what we have. Where we have the instead of the blondes uh, mom marrying, we have Ranma and the mom marrying Son. So we have that. So if we look at the story of Citrus, the themes that end up happening is that, let's see. So Aihara Yuzu is the blonde, and then the council president, her sister is May. So it's Yuzu and May, right? Um,
Okay.
yeah, more mukbang here. Sorry. Okay. Secret mukbang. All right. So the thing with May is that she has issues with her dad, right? And he's kind of like a missing presence. Um, there's a lot there that I don't specifically remember. And there's like issues with like later on of like her like going like, oh, I need to be doing this and this and trying to like be a normal like sister family and things like that. Which is what they're exploring, but we're taking kind of like a concept from this and applying it to Ranma one half, right? Which is why we end up with where we are here. But I have issues with a missing father. And we have a girl who tries to control everything. We have let's see, that's let's see. Love you too, sweetheart.
Huh?
Love you too, sweetheart.
Love you.
So issues with the missing father, girl who tries to control everything. We have a girl who wants to experience love, but never found it. Um, and all of these are the same. Like some of these are like the same girl over and over again. Like May is the top two here, and fashion. girl who's into fashion and free expression, and the bottom two are yuzu, right? And so you take these character aspects, and I'm like distilling it into the characters. It's like this might be consuming more. Controlling everything might be Nabiki, and with Havakane, she was always such a spirited girl. So we already have the loss of the mother with the girls, and there's an aspect of that with the citrus series where they go to the graveyard of May's mother. So what we can do here is um, take that, and we can have Son also being gone from the house for the first part, have his return have an impact on how Ranma feels. So now the question becomes, this ends up becoming like a Ranma Akane situation, right? So um, while Ranma would be the wild spirit, the the Gyaru, although not really being said. Gyaru. No, it's just a U. Gyaru. Okay. The Gyaru girl, and and the three sisters, um, all of them together make up the May aspect um, of a character. We focus on the question of whether Ranma and we all May aspects of character, and then we also have the fact that we're going to have Ranma as both the girl, and then we're going to have a boy Ranma, which there is Citrus is a very purely Yuri um, situation, so we can split um, the sister's attention. And so if we have this, and we have um, Ranma as a boy, um, and a girl, and then we assign, um, excuse me, Nabiki as being interested in boy Ranma, and Akane interested in girl Ranma, and then Kasumi um, is interested in a little sister. And so um, then these are all aspects um, that Yuzu um, kind of has for May, um, whereas uh, May is very much like not expressing her emotions. Like it's she's very boy in her kind of expression of her feelings. And so, boy Ranma, while splits the sister's attention, is uncommunicative um, aspects. So, so we're setting this up, and we're like, okay, I mean, we're kind of sliding like aspects in, and it's kind of fitting. You know, we have more characters to kind of split, and that's definitely going to be changing things and having certain focuses happening with different people. But the question then becomes, what's the transformation, right? Because we are going to be starting with a girl Ranma meeting a meeting an Akane that is um, freely expressive. But if we look at how Akane is in the series of Ranma One Half, she is not freely expressive in the sense that she is very guarded about boys and things like that, and we see that she's much more open with the girls. But there's a reason why she has that boy hate. So, um, what if what we have as Bunenkenhai is suddenly an all-girls school? So now we have Ranma as a boy being a girl stuck in a school where he is not allowed to be himself, um, and the and being forced to experience being a girl. So, um, so there's that aspect, right? And so Ranma meeting a kind that is really expressive, and Viki that dominated the school because you don't have the counterpoint of like Tariwaki controlling the boys, and so she is kind of like the source and distribution, and so she would be in control. So, so there's aspects of this when you're dealing with people who have lost something. Trying to control everything um, is usually the kind of thing that happens when somebody cannot control certain things. Like there's an aspect of themselves that's out of control. A girl who wants to experience love but never found it with Kasumi, um, and this is the life the loss of childhood. She had to grow up and become a mother to her sisters, and so she never had that. Um, and so her trying to explore anything with Ranma will also get conflicted with her um, wanting to um, not have Ranma lose their childhood with what's happening. And then you have Akane, who we're giving the Garu role. Um, so she was always put into those situations of being the boy in the play because, well, we need a boy, and she'd make such a good boy, um, and things like that. And so her trying to break free of that in the original manga, she tries to be like her sister and grows out her hair so that she can be born girly, and then she loses her hair in a chapter. Not loses her hair, but her hair is cut short in a chapter, and she goes back to her short hairstyle from previously, and that is when she's her true self again. Um, and this is something that's often seen with a lot of transgender men who um, grew up being forced to wear dresses and keep their hair long, and it wasn't until they start getting their hair cut short and start breaking out of wearing dresses and start wearing certain clothes that they start seeing themselves as being their true selves. Um, Shout out to all the lumbersexuals out there. But again, this is an exploration of what it means to lose something. So we have an Akane who is expressing herself as being more girly than she really than necessarily she feels, because she feels that if she were to be who she is, the tomboy, that she would just become a boy, and that's not necessarily what she wants. Even though she ends up um, not just being a tomboy, but also um, being gay and being attracted to Ranma, the idea that she's also um, she doesn't want to be a boy and with Ranma, right? She wants to be a girl and with Ranma, and there's that question um, of sexuality and gender with that, that I think is like a really interesting kind of thing to explore. Um, so let's see here. So that's kind of like what I'm getting. That's what I got, like, from watching Citrus and seeing certain echoes in that show of things that reminded me of Ranma, such as the loss of a parent, and the way that the girls dealt with that trauma, that tragedy, and how the characters in Citrus deal with their traumas and tragedy. Um, then specifically, it's May. It's almost 100% May on that aspect. Really echoed with the girls for me, and so it made me want to explore that. Now, if they're going to be going to a girls' school, they're not going to be going to Fudokan High. They are going to be going to Saint Hiberiki's School for Girls. Let me double check on that spelling. Saint Hebereki. Hebereki. Saint Hebereki. Is it a real thing? Hebereki. Hebereki. No, it's just what it is. So, which is an all-girls school, and so we have Kodachi as an antagonist. It's kind of interesting that Citrus, May, and Yuzu are their antagonists, foils, um, mentor. Although there is another mentor character for Yuzu in there, but they are like every single character archetype they are to each other. Like it's a little bit crazy that when you have somebody who's like your rival, your lancer, um, your foil, your shadow, um, your mentor. Like it's like and your love interest all in one. And you're like, what are we doing, folks? Why are we? We're just everything. Everybody is everything to everyone all the time. Let's go. So we now have Kadachi as the antagonist, but her antagonism is usually relayed in two ways. It's relayed against other schools, and it goes in dominance of her position. So I don't actually think she's an antagonist, but um, we can put her as the mentor, which would be Yuzu's friend, which means that she would become um, Ranma's friend. Or we can put her, instead of having Nobiki be the school, so if we put Kadachi as the school council president, right? And we can have Nobiki be second, as a treasury, let's say, and now let's just have her be second as vice president. So she'd be the one interacting with Ranma in the beginning. Um, so we can kind of do all these kinds of like little nods to Citrus while being different from Citrus, while having Ranma one half characters while having them be different because they were in a different life thing kind of growing up, and etc. etc. Let's see here. Time for some more secret mukbang. Let's go. Hmm. All right. We have Kadachi and Nobiki again, and as these characters. So this is something, and all of a sudden it disappeared. As far as the information on the show goes here. Um, so now we have a bit of an idea of what we're doing. I don't think I can sit here and watch the Citrus show here. YouTube.com, Citrus Anime. So let's watch a scene to get in the mood for this. It doesn't look like you got the screen is moving at all. It doesn't look like yeah. So for you guys, so I can't really share the video here, but you can hear it. Um, so Okay, so there's a lot of fear of oh, there's a lot of fear of like fully expressing themselves. There's kind of like a false kiss with the teddy bear here. Um, and full on kissing again. Alright, so you can't really. There we go. So you can't really have the show mirror Ranma one half. There's a difference in number of characters, and even who and what those characters are, and the difficulty for them. Um, where May, her kisses go from just being something that she does to being something that she is embarrassed to even do as they become more and more real as the show progresses. Um, so let's do a quick read here of the plot here. Um, Yuzu Aihara, a fashionable, spontaneous, and fun-loving city girl, transfers to a new neighborhood and high school after the remarriage of her mother. More preoccupied with boys and shopping than studying, Yuzu struggles to fit in at the conservative girls' school and frequently clashes with the student council, specifically Mei Aihara, the hard-working, beautiful but cold student council president. As it turns out, Mei happens to be Yuzu's new stepsister, and Yuzu finds herself having to share a bedroom with a girl she absolutely can't stand, yet can't get out of her head. The series follows the evolution of the relationship between the two girls, with the animosity slowly lessening as the two begin to learn more about each other, and confusion growing as Yuzu discovers that she's starting to develop romantic feelings for her new sibling. Um, the anime um, had, let's see if there's anything special there. And this synopsis, the series ends with 41 chapters. Citrus Plus began in December 2018. Yuzu is named after a citrus fruit, and resembling those related to Kaffir Lyman and Chang Data. Um, open to an orange color. Fruit may also be cut in half, allowing citrus juice to mingle with the bath water of the yuzu bath, known simply as yuzuyu, but yuzuburu is said to guard against colds. So interesting. So there's a name importance there. So so that's kind of the storyline, right? Is just they meet, they slowly develop feelings for each other. Sounds like Ranma. Sounds like Ranma. Great. Um, so so now we have, um, and we can get into like questions of like how they feel because like they're supposed to be related and stuff and things like that later. Um, so right now the key focus we have for the first part is uh, Ranma, Ranma arrives and meets um, the school council because she isn't dressed appropriately for school. And this is true of Ranma as a character. Ranma would constantly not be dressed for school, right? Um, so Well, we have Kodachi and Nobiki. Then we have the um, uh, we have this friend that Yuzu makes, who is new to the school as well, where they joined in high school, whereas most of the girls like had part of the track leading up to high school that they've been as part of the school, which means that they went through elementary school and middle school with these kinds of like tougher rules and regulations. Um, and we have trouble here because now we don't have Akane as being able to fit that because Akane would be part of the track as well, right? So who and Akane is also going to be the love interest. So who do we put here? And we have characters available to us, so we can have Ukyo as the mentor for the school. She went to a boys' school and an all boys middle school, but once found out, was sent to the all girls school. Uh, and that's probably going to be to fix all that. Now, by using Ukyo, we have this thing where we have uh, someone who is a girl but dresses like a boy but is still very much a girl as the mentor to a boy who dresses up like a girl but is still very much a boy. And and we we can explore that through this, and then we can have mm, we have next aspect, which is, I mean, there's aspects from Citrus that we can't that doesn't fit here in the sense of May takes Yuzu's cell phone, and then Yuzu tries to get it back, so she's like getting back home, things like that. Um, but I think this is like a good start right here. All right. I'm gonna take a quick break just to adjust myself here. So I'll be right back. Alright, okay. Hi everybody, I'm back. Let's go and continue trying to write. Now, we've mostly right now just been kind of coming up with the characters and how they fit between the Citrus Ranma and the Citrus anime and the Ranma anime. And we're just trying to get it all fixed up. Alright, so the next step here is creating the structure. So, um, where is, let me find my little guide book for writing. Let's see, look for um, let's see, whatever. Where did it go? I think this is right for here. Let me clean this one up. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm on a different screen grabbing the information that I'm trying to share. Okay. Should be it? Okay, here it is. So, we are trying to write an episode of Citrus Ranma. And so this is episode 1 of Citrus Ranma. And what we have is the prologue. The prologue is like the stinger. So this is the thing that will lead us in um, to the main plot point, and it's kind of like a rough introduction to the characters. In the Citrus manga, the stinger is uh, Yuzu talking to her friends about moving to a new school and how she's just gonna be so quick in finding a boyfriend. While her internal monologue is like, "Oh, I've never been kissed," and all this other stuff, right? And the stinger in Ranma one half is actually um the is actually uh, Ranma as a girl fighting her dad. So we have a little bit of a difference here in that um, Ranma is the Ranma is the main character as far as having father issues, um, and therefore not the hopeless romantic or the one looking for love character. That is what Kami's family is. So, um, so there's like there's a lot of role switching in concepts between who they are and what the story ends up becoming. And so, because of that, I think that kind of creates an interesting opportunity for us. So, we're trying to express a few things with the story that we're setting up here. Um, because while Girl Ranma is the wild spirit, the Gyaru, um, uh, and her boy side is the one that can't communicate, Akane is this kind of like sense of free expression as well. So, but Akane is not a Gareth, right? And so, yeah, we're trying to explore this here. So, what we'll do is we'll have to take um, this column C approach because the thing that's different here is the loss of Genma. Um, so let's start with that. Genma Sao Tome dies saving Ranma from shampoo. Alright, so there is our prologue. Um, our initial conflict is Ranma shows up to school um, out of uniform and is confronted by Kodachi and Nobiki. And um, what? So the main thing they do is they take away user's cell phone in the manga. So um, I don't know how we. I don't know. So scary. Such a scary face over here. Ah, it's too much. Too much. No, no. Um. Okay. My wife is doing her face mask thing. It's too far away. This isn't comfortable. I can't do that. Oh my. Oh goodness. Oh, where was I? I lost my complete train of thought here.
Sorry.
Let's see. Okay, so the question is, what is it that they take from Ranma, and so the yeah, but so let's merge, right? Let's not stick to just citrus here. Let's go back to Ranma and let's have let's ranch it up a little bit because we want to entice our readers, right? So let's let's say that they uh, take Ranma's clothes and put her in uniform. So Ranma's clothes, which is the thing that he had when he had his father, is really important to Ranma. So like the cell phone is to use it, and so now what we're doing is we're taking instead of having instead of dealing with the cell phone trying to fit that into Ranma's character, we now take something that is important to Ranma. So that's the conflict. And now we need a conflict from a different direction. Um, so, and we want to use this conflict to introduce Akane, right? And um, so let's take the so let's have how was it in the show? Because there was a bit of storytelling um, about um, about the student council president dating somebody, um, but and so it's the main character dating one of the teachers or being engaged to a teacher, and so what we would have here is kind of like a very interesting thing. So what we could have is we could either use tofu as a teacher, but then they would kind of cease to exist. But it would be interesting to have tofu as a teacher, having lost an opportunity to capture a way in with Kasumi now going after Akane, who has long hair. And of course, if you know more about Citrus Show, you know what I'm talking about. But I feel that um, having the rising tension of uh, having the rising tension of or having an issue being that one of the girls is dating a teacher would be interesting. So, but that's not necessarily the conflict we're looking for yet. So the rising action for Ranma um, from the school uniform situation is that all the girls ignore her because of her hair and not wanting to be involved in martial arts. So you take that, and then the climax for Ranma is um, let's see, everything comes to a head in Citrus um, when it turns out that the girl that she was harassed by is now her sister. Um, and that well, no, that leads into the following action. The climax is then seeing something about the girl that was harassing her. Um, so, um, mm, so the climax is finding out and her sisters. So, so the rising action here, I feel, is becoming is caught kissing tofu, and the conflict here would then therefore be with the Biki. Actually, that's included here. Um, so this is actually a conflict, not a rising action. So the rising action here is Yukio shows interest in Ranma, and then we have a secondary climax here of not meeting her mom's husband. And the girls. So now, well, this kind of removed not meeting the mom's the husband doesn't really fit everything else. Surprise in action is always is revelation. Is a revelation with this. So all the girls ignore her because of her hair and not wanting to be involved in martial arts. Surprise in action is officials interest in Ranma talks about how to get clothes by Chinese competition and tells gossip and info about the school. Nakane is kind of kissing Tokyo by Ranma. So finding out beginning finding out her sisters, um, and um, Nakane and as a boy. So now we have our falling action. Let's see here. Oh my. Falling action is. Um, what is it? I don't know. I don't remember what the falling action of episode 1 of Citrus is. With Ranma, it was the getting knocked out by Akane as the climax. Um, explaining to the sisters about the curse and falling action. So, so this is yeah. So this finding out and beginning playing of sisters is as an action as well. So. Um, Typo change the sisters. This was about the curse and um, um, then let's see. Is mention house. Um, Assuming you spell first. And then the denouement is kind of like the wrap up. And the um, in Citrus, it was me kissing Yuzu after Yuzu had confronted about kissing the teacher, and you know how big a deal it is to be kissing somebody, and we can have hmm, see, this is a kind of an interesting question, isn't it? And if anybody's watching, what do you think? What would be a good ending to the story we're writing right now? I'm not sure myself. I'm not sure myself. Uh, Sorry about the echo there. I was just testing my noise here. Let's see. Um, Maybe want to come up with an ending. The ending is kind of like the opposite, right? Um, so since the ending here is losing the father, um, let's have the ending be it goes to her mother. That's a question. Mother. The point of of it was that it's kind of like a shut up, you don't know what you're talking about situation. And her mother instead of giving advice about staying out or properly communicating, she would treat her like a boy and just say, um, and focus on maintaining her masculinity during the prolonged um, transformation. Alright, so here is episode 1 outline. Um, we have the characters, we have the outline for episode 1, and so let's, uh, let's read a story. So our prologue is going to be Genma, Sadhoma Dai saving Ranma from shampoo. Our conflict is Ranma shows up school with uniform is confronted by Cadets and Vicky. They take Ranma's clothes and put her in uniform. So, I'm gonna start with a very depressing story. So, let's see. Um, when it comes to writing, this outline stuff is something I practice a lot. And so the one thing that I'm running out of practice is the next step, which is writing. Um, and so when you're writing, you need to look at there's a few different ways of how you write a scene, right? So let's take our first scene here. Um, Alright, so this is going to be our scene that we're going to be writing. Sorry, the weekend was so hot, it was difficult to sleep, and I barely had any sleep before I had to go into work this morning. So I'm really feeling exhausted right now. Okay. So when you're writing the scene, there's kind of like 6 steps that you're gonna write. And it is, let's see if I remember, goal. I'm just gonna go search here just see if I can find it. Give me a moment. Goal. Okay, let's go. Challenge, disaster, and the next steps are reaction, reflection, decision. Reaction, reflection, decision. So the goal is what the character is trying to do. And in our case, it's escape alive with sun. And that's Ranma wants to escape alive with sun. Right? The challenge is that Shampoo is chasing them. And the disaster is that something falls apart and Kinra can't escape. The reaction is essentially going to be shock. The reaction is going to be struggle. Reflection is going to be I can't save myself. What can I do? And the decision will be to save Ranma instead. This leads to a new goal, challenge, disaster, reaction, reflection, decision. And in this case, we would move on from this. So now, this scene, which is the prologue of episode 1, now has this set, and now we take the goal, which is Genma wants to escape alive. Son, currently daughter, and we apply the motivation reaction unit to it. So this is further broken down. Um, let's see if I can healing reflex, rational thought, and speech. Okay, so this is good. Healing reflex, rational thought, and speech. So healing reflex, natural thought, and speech. So this is how we're going to be writing our paragraphs about the goal of the scene of the episode. Okay? Healing reflects natural thought and speech. Healing, healthy, um, barely felt it through this thick film. Um, let's see. Stick by this okay. So Ranma, and so very much better. Stuck was and shorter gait. Right? So feeling really confidence reflex, and then soggy from swallow footsteps. Person on top. What is it?
You
What is-
can.
Okay. Couldn't tell what it was. Forcing him to struggle to even take his next step. His son, Ranma, ran alongside and built. His son wasn't very much better. He was stuck in the fellow's body with a shorter gait. And Ralph and Ranma attempting to urge their child to move faster. But speech was impossible in his current form. It's becoming impossible in his current form. To dictionary. Alright, so we now have our first paragraph of our goal of our scene of our episode. And I'm kind of tired, so and I didn't get as many people popping in as I had hoped. So I think I might be calling it off, just because I'm getting distracted and it's getting very difficult to continue. But this is the start of the story. So we will pick this up on Wednesday is the updated schedule for this week because I have to work around my job. So Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Meet back up here and we will finish writing this story. I want to thank anybody who's watching, and bye bye. Let's see. Let's take where's the repeat stream there, and camera position here. Oh, I'm so short. All right. I really do appreciate everybody. Bye. And for the people on YouTube, please comment, like, subscribe here, and on Twitch, and support me on Patreon. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and hopefully I'll be able to fix up Streamlabs to work with this. I'm still trying several different programs and things, so thanks again. Bye.